I'm old Sneelock. Getting ready to do something I should have done 5 years ago. I bought this Chicago Electric MIG 151 welder 5 years ago. And I had intentions of hooking it up in the blacksmith shop at the other house. But then things happened and I ended up in the hospital and life goes on. I have things organized well enough now that I want to start using the MIG welder. Before I can do that, I need to put a plug on it. Primary voltage on the welder is 230 volts at 60 cycles, which is standard around here. The idea behind using a 4-prong plug, I have a couple of pieces of equipment that run on 220. I have a 14-inch Rockwell radial arm saw, and I have this welder. Whatever I want to plug into that outlet, I'll be wired up for either 220 or 210 volt single separate legs. I can get 220 by joining both sides of the fuse panel, or I can get 110 by going to the neutral from either side. So I'm going to use a 4-prong plug and be able to pick up 220 or 110 in either way. The 4th prong is the ground. Now, this little welder only has 3 wires. It has a black, a white, and a ground. That means I'm going to pick up one side of the fuse panel on the white wire, one side of the fuse panel on the black wire, and then this is going to go to the ground. Lots of mosquitoes out here. It's been long enough since I worked on this thing that I have forgotten the wire code on it. So I'm going to have to open it up and look at the circuit. Let's see, I'm going to have to spray for mosquitoes. Those guys are starting to get annoying. Okay, got the cover off, and that tells me that the way they wired this up, it is 220. The white wire goes to one hot side and the black wire goes to the other. The way I like to connect the circuit is just so I'm consistent across the board. The prong with a little leg sticking out, that's always the ground. It's marked with a green screw. Now the other 3, they can be wired any way you want them. I mean, they can be, they're labeled XYZ. You can have any one of the 3 be the neutral, or any 2 of the 3 be the 220. When I wired the outlet, I made X and Z the 220. So I'm going to connect the ground wire to the green lug. I'm going to connect the black wire to X and the white wire to Z. There's no, this is only single phase, so there's no rotation that I have to worry about. But I will check to make sure that the fan is running the right direction, just for the sake of argument. Really shouldn't matter, it's AC. The wire slips into the back, like so. Put the screwdriver into the slot on the screw, just tighten the screw up. Oh, make sure you put the cap on. It's a thing that everybody does. They get the thing all wired up and then they go, oh crap, I don't have the cap on and have to take it all apart. You're going to do it at least once in your life, but maybe I'll stop you from doing it quite as many. Same thing, slip the black wire in. Nice and warm out here today, and the mosquitoes are just a-buzzing. Make sure I get all my screws nice and tight. And I snug up the one that I'm not using too. It's really not a very good chance that it would happen, but there's a possibility of the screw vibrating loose from the plug and rattling around inside the back of the plug and causing something to short out. We don't leave any loose screws inside the cord cap. Before I tighten any of those down, I want to start them all. That way any of the screws have the opportunity to, if they're just a little bit off, you can kind of wiggle them around because there'll be enough slop in the hole to let them adjust around. My original intent with getting a MIG welder was to be able to weld aluminum. The idea was I was going to be able to make aluminum castings and then weld them to aluminum fabrications. Now I have a cord cap on the cord for my welder. It's a MIG welder, metallic inert gas as they used to call it in the old days. Now they call it GMAW, G-M-A-W, gas metallic arc welding. It's all the same thing. It's just a fancy way of saying we're going to take a piece of wire, stuff it down a tube that has electricity running through it. The wire is going to carry the electricity to a part that is grounded to the other leg of the transformer. The resulting contact between the two metal surfaces, between the wire and the part that I'm going to be welding, will cause the wire to short. The short will generate heat and an arc. If I set the wire speed right, the arc should maintain. Then I will be able to use the electric arc to melt and cause the metal to flow to the part that I'm welding. That's GMAW or MIG. I like MIG. It's what I've been calling it for years. I'm going to keep calling it that. Have the cord cap on. It's still not ready to run yet though. I still have to hook up the regulator on the gas tank to the gas line to the welder. I have to hook up the wire into the welder itself. I have to do some test runs, and I got some fiddling to do. But I'm one step closer than I was before I started. Been 5 long years. We're going to actually make this thing work. If you have any suggestions for a new video or questions about today's video or any of the others on the channel, just drop a note in the comments below. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.